Welcome in the world of Python programming under machine learning using Python series of lectures. This is lecture 6. We'll see assignment and bitwise operators. Hi, I'm Dr. Sunil from GCS Solutions. The contents of this lecture are assignment operators. We'll see multiple variable initialization. We'll also see compound assignment operators. And the last topic to be discussed in this lecture is bitwise operators. Now assignment operator. Now simply assignment operator is an operator which performs basically after performing certain operations it assigns the value of the right hand side to the left hand side. That means it is a binary operator. It needs two operands, one at the left of the assignment and one at the right of the assignment. Now using this operator, Python performs various operations more effectively as compared to other languages. For example, in case of Python, you can have a multiple variable initialization using this assignment operator. As we have already seen that Python works as a language of dynamic type language. That means you can create variables on fly. Now here I have three variables here, A, B and C, and I have assigned value to these variables altogether after putting assignment sign and giving three values on the same line. So here if you see carefully, here I have A, B, C. So these variables are separated by comma, then assignment operator, and I say 90, 67, 45. Now if I try to print A, so this first value 90 is assigned automatically to A. So I get 90 from the Python. If I say what is B, so it returns me 67. If I say what is C, it returns me 45. And if I now try to check the type of any of these variable randomly, say for example, I want to check type of variable B, it gives me int. What does it mean? That it has correctly assigned all the values in sequence to the left hand side variables. Now background story here is this. Now in this second rectangle I have represented that when you say A, B, C to the left of the assignment, three references are created, that is variables are created by the Python, and after equal to if I put some values 90, 67, 45, now three objects will be created 90, 67 and 45, and references of these three objects will be assigned respectively to A, B and C. So this way it works internally. This shows that Python supports multiple variable initialization just using a single equal to operator. Now here in first case we have assigned all the integer values to the variables of the left hand side. Is it possible to assign different types of values to the left hand side variables? Yes, it is. The answer is yes. Now here take this example. Now focus on the third rectangle of this slide. Here I have used three variables, name, age and salary, and after equal to I have assigned three different values. First a Sunil, which is a string, second 45, which is the integer value, third 74,000, that is 74,000 in decimal notation. So I have this value as a real value. Now if I ask Python what is name, it returns me it's Sunil. Now if I try to check what is type of name, it returns me as a str. That means it shows that whatever value, first value you have put or given to the right of the assignment operator is a string value. Now if I try to check age, I get 45 as the answer. If I try to check type of age, I get int. So what does it show? It shows that Python assignment operator appropriately assigns the right hand side variables to the left hand side, right hand side values to the left hand side variables, even keeping their properties intact. For example, if I say salary, so here salary is 74,000, and if I try to type what is salary, that is type of salary, it returns me float. So what does this show? This shows that Python assignment operator is quite effective as compared to other languages. Let us now focus on more effective use of assignment operator. The assignment operator is also used as a compound assignment operator. That means that operator can be combined with other operators and that forms a compound assignment. For example, it can be used with plus, minus, then star, that is multiplication, division, integer division, modulo division, power operator. It can be used with bitwise AND, bitwise OR, bitwise XOR, or left shift and right shift operator. So this way, this operator can be used, that means assignment operator can be used with various other operators that forms a compound assignment. Now how it works? Let us see the examples now. Now I have x equal to 20. If I inspect what is x, Python returns me that x is 20. Now if I say x plus equal to 1, this will do something in background. Here plus equal to operator is the operator which will increment value of x by 1. How it works we'll see very soon. So if I now inspect what is x, it returns me 21. Now if it is not like you can put only 1 after the plus equal to operator. You can put any value, you can take any value as this value to be incremented by the plus operator. So here in next case, as x is already incremented by 1, if I say x plus equal to 3, so now current value of x will be incremented by 3. So it will be 21 plus 3, it will be 4. Now let us see the different story. I have a equal to 2 and I inspect what is a, it is 2. I have b equal to 5. Now if I say a power operator equal to b, it means that a is to be raised with b value, so it is nothing but 2 raised to power 5. So result of this will get reflected in a, so a will get changed. Now a is 32 because 2 raised to power 5 is nothing but 32. So here in background, see what happens. Here this statement a plus equal to 1 is just equal to a is equal to a plus 1 in any normal programming scenario. What if I say a plus equal to 3? That means the value of a should be updated with its current value and by adding 3 in the current value. So this is the way it interprets. Now these things are basically achieved in other languages like C, C++, Java by increment operator, plus plus, that is pre-increment, and a plus plus, that is the post-increment. If you put operator before variable, it is pre, and if you put operator after variable, it is post. Now this a plus equal to 1 is nothing but plus plus a or a plus plus in case of C, C++ and Java. Do remember Python doesn't support these operators, but in some cases you will be getting some surprising result. We'll see soon. Now Python may have a minus equal to 1 and similar thing can be achieved in C, C++, Java as minus minus a or a minus minus, but please do remember this increment and decrement operator of the other languages like C, C++, Java are not at all supported by Python. But what are the some surprising things in context of this plus plus operator or minus minus? We'll see this. Now let us try to do this exercise. So here I am assigning 20 to a, and if I say plus plus a, I get answer 20. So what is happening? Plus plus is basically operated, accepted by Python. It doesn't give any error. If I say plus 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 a, that means 4 times plus, still I get answer as a 20 by the Python. If I say 3 times plus 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 a, I get 20. If I say plus minus a, now I get minus 20. Now what is the way that value is this operator plus plus is interpreted? It is not interpreted as an increment operator of C, C++ or Java, but it is accepted as a operator to be operated on the right hand side operand as a unary plus. How? Now see the interpretation. Now focus on the rightmost rectangle of this slide. Plus plus a is internally operated by Python as plus that is plus a means positive a, and positive of positive is again a positive. Now how this plus 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 3 times will be interpreted? It is plus a of plus and plus plus a of plus. Got it now? That means you have to Python will interpret this value in some different way. If I say plus minus a, it is plus of a and minus of that, this way. And now if you try here, focus over here where I am pointing the cursor. So here if I say a plus plus, Python gives me error, invalid syntax, because interpreting plus plus a is easy, but a plus plus, this can't be interpreted by Python. So you have to be careful. Now let us see the bitwise operators. So as name indicated, bitwise operator are the operators operating on the binary representation of integer data type numbers. Though the given integer number is in the decimal form, but these bitwise operators will be working on the binary representation of the given number in memory. Now what are these operators? These operators are AND, OR, XOR, complement, left shift and right shift. So these operators are bitwise operators. So this single ampersand is AND, single pipe symbol is OR, caret symbol is XOR, tilde symbol is complement, 2 times less than symbol is left shift, and 2 times right angle bracket is right shift operator. Now how these operators work internally? So here is the table I have given. So these are all binary operators except this complement operator, and they need 2 operands to work over. If I have 2 operands a and b, so there are 2 raised to power 2, 4 possible combinations. So as these are bitwise operator, they work on bits. That means only 0 and 1. So for 2 raised to power 2 bit combination, I have 4 possibilities. So A is 0, B is 0, A is 0, B is 1, A is 1, B is 0, A is 1 and B is 1. So how this bitwise AND works? So rule of thumb is very simple. So here if both the bits are 1, then the result is 1, otherwise it is 0. So here if both A and B are 1, then the A and B operation is 1, otherwise it is 0. For OR it is exactly complement, like if any one of the A or B is 1, then the result is 1, otherwise it is 0. For XOR it is again a complement sort of thing. For example, if A is 0 and B is 1, and if A is 1 and B is 0, then only it is 1, otherwise it is 0. And this complement operator is a unary operator, operates on only one operand. So if A is 0, negation of A is 1, and if A is 1, complement of A is 0. Now what of bitwise left shift and right shift operator? So it is very simple. If I say A is 3 and B is 15, and if I say B left shift A, what does it mean? I mean to say that B should be left shifted by A bit positions. That means shift binary bit of 15 by 3 bit position. If A is 3, it will be shifted by 3 bits. If A is 5, the B will get shifted by 5 bit position. We'll see this in details while discussing the hands-on on left shift and right shift operators. Now what does it mean 9 greater than A? It is right shift. So right shift 9 by A bit positions, that is 3 bit position. Now question is how these integer numbers are represented internally. Why? Because unless and until I have a clear idea of the bit representation of decimal numbers or integer numbers, I won't be able to interpret the way these bitwise operator are operating in the number inside the memory. Now when I inspected my system, I got this answer. In sys module, I called this max size macro and I got answer 922, 922337, some long digit. So what is this? So we'll see this. Now this long number which I have represented here will take a big bit chunk in memory, because representing this number will be having certain memory given in the bit forms. Now this number is nothing but a 64-bit maximum representation of int number in 64-bit OS, because the OS operating system I have installed in my computer is 64-bit OS. So as my operating system is 64-bit, integer representation will also be 64-bit. So that's why I have this long number, which is nothing but 2 raised to power 64 bits minus 1. Why minus 1? Why not 2 raised to power 64 positions? Because 1 bit is reserved for sign representation of negative numbers. Because if I say minus 5 and if I say 5 has same representation, bit representation, that is 101. But if I say minus 5, the MSB of the bit representation will be 1, indicating that it is not a 5, it is minus 5. So that's why there is a reserved 1. For example, 15. So 15, some long representation 64-bit will be, these bits will be all 0 and last 4 will be 1. But here do remember, this first MSB is 0. In case of minus 15, everything is same except first MSB is 1, showing that it is negative number. Now let us try with certain examples of this bitwise operator. Suppose I say A equal to 5, B equal to 4 and A and B. So I get answer 4. How? Now let us see how this A will be represented inside the memory. Assuming that there are 64 bits, so as I don't have enough space over my slide to represent all 16-bit positions, I have put this middle bits as dash 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 dash, showing that it is 64-bit representation. So what of A equal to 5? So if you focus last 4 bits, A is 101. Now what of B equal to 4? In 64-bit representation, the last bit for B will be 100. And what of A and B? So I am trying to perform bitwise AND of all the bits of A with B. So how it works? It works something like this. So this is my A, which is the rightmost bit of A is 1 and rightmost bit of B is 4. So 1 and 0. What is the bitwise ANDing of this? It is 0. Now next bit is 0, 0. So what is ANDing of this two bit? 0. 1, 1. What is ANDing of this bit 1 and 1? So it is 1. So this way it will keep operating from the rightmost LSB till MSB. Now what is the answer of A and B? It is 100. This is nothing but a 4. That is the binary equivalent of 100 is binary equivalent of 4. So we have got here answer 4. Similarly, if we try with A equal to 10, B equal to 5 and A or B, I get answer 15. So I have put this here in this colorful representation of A as a binary, A10 as a binary, B equal to 5 as a binary and A or B as a binary representation. So I get this 1 1 1 all 1, because 1 0 1 1 0 1, sorry 0 1 1 1 0 1 0 1 1 1 0 1. So this way all bits are 1. So similar representation I have for XOR. So I have equal to 15 B equal to 5. So this is the scenario. But you know, in case of XOR, if bits are dissimilar, then only it is 1, other it is 0. So 1 1 0 1 0 1 1 1 again 0 1 0 1. So this is nothing but 1 0 1 0 is the bit pattern for integer 10, decimal 10. Now let us try with the negative numbers. Now do remember, negative numbers are internally represented as 2's complement. There is one technical design behind it, and as a technical guy, I will ask you to do some engineering on these negative numbers. You will have to go to the digital electronics subject and you have to learn this, because discussing everything is out of scope of our discussion, our syllabus. Now still I'll try to make you understand some of the important things which are essential to understand bitwise operator. Here a number 4 as a 8-bit number is, this is the representation 0 0 0 0 0 1 0 0. Now What is 2's complement of number? So 2's complement of number is 1's complement plus 1. What is 1's complement of number? It is exactly the opposite. For example, if bit is 1, it is set to 0. If bit is 0, it is set to 1. So what is the 1's complement of 4? It is 1 1 1 1 1 0 1 1. And if I add 1 to it, to the 1's complement, I get a 2's complement. What is 2's complement of the 4 now? It is 1 1 1 1 1 1 0 0, which is negative 4. Now this 2's complement of 4, this bit representation is nothing but minus 4. And the first representation, that is 0 0 0 0 0 0 1 0 0, is the original positive representation of 8-bit numbers. So keeping this in mind, we can now try to understand how negative numbers are basically handled by Python using bitwise operators. If I say equal to minus 4 and b equal to 15, if I now say a and b, I get answer 12. How? Because minus 4 is represented as a 2's complement, which is nothing but 1 1 1 1 1 1 0 0. Now if I use 15 as a positive number, it is 0 0 0 0 1 1 1 1. I am just using here 8-bit representation just for understanding purpose, but in case of actual Python, it will be 64-bit representation. So we need not worry of all these bits. We need to understand the logic behind it. So that's why I use this short representation of 8 bits. Now let us try to operate on A and B using bitwise AND. So if this is my first operand and this is the second operand, now what is A and B? So just try to operate on bits. 0 and 1 is 0, 0 and 1 is again 0, 1 and 1 is 1, 1 and 1 is 1, and all these 1 0 1 0 1 0 are 0. So what this is nothing but 1 1 0 0, which is a binary equivalent of decimal 12. Are you getting the right answer? Yes, of course. Now I suggest you to try at home. Just listening video or a video lecture is not enough. You have to work at home. Similarly, how a equal to minus 10, b equal to 5, a or b, I get minus 9. So I suggest you to do some engineering on this, to do some practice on these things, to see how practically Python works with bitwise operators. So I have a equal to 15 and b equal to minus 5. If I say a XOR b, I get answer minus 12. Do you have any answer for this? Yes, it is nothing but a bit game happening in the background. You need to understand it. Now let us see the complement operator. Now if I say equal to 4 and if I say negation of a, I get minus 5. How come it is minus 5? Now as I told you that whatever numbers, negative numbers we see, those are internally represented as a 2's complement number. Now let us try with this. A is 4. What is binary representation of 4? It is 0 0 0 0 0 1 0 0. Focus on the last rectangle of this slide. Now what is negation of a? It is exactly toggle of the bits. Here for 0 it is 1, for 0 it is 1, for 1 it is 0, for 0 it is 1, for this remaining 0 it is 1 1 1. But what this number is? This number is internally equivalent of some number. Now let us try with the binary 5. So binary of 5 is 0 0 0 0 1 0 1. Now what is 1's complement of 5? It is 1 1 1 1 1 0 1 0. And what is 2's complement? Just add 1 in the 1's complement. So you get 2's complement. Now if you compare these two numbers, that is negation of n minus 5, they are having same bit representation. So that's why Python returns you minus 5 when you say what is negation of 4 or what is complement of 4. Rather negation, I'll say what is complement of 4. Are you getting here? I think you got it. Similarly, this case with minus 10. If you say the complement of minus 10, so bit representation of 10 is 1010, minus 10 is in its bit 2 bits representation, sorry, 2's complement form, and after applying certain operations on it, you will get minus 11 as the answer. So hope so you understood this. Now the last topic to be discussed under this bitwise operator is left shift and right shift operators. So how it works, as discussed earlier, if A is 2, B is 5, and if I say B left shift A, what does it mean? That shift B pattern of B by 2-bit position if A is 2. That means shift B by A bit positions. So if B is 5 and A is 2, so bit pattern B, that is 5, will be left shifted by 2-bit position. Now how it works? So let us see this description. So 5 as a binary number is 0 0 0 0 0 1 0 1. Now here if I say left shift 2 bits, that means the MSB bits of this 5 will be dropped and all the remaining bits will be shifted to the left, and to the right of this 5 0 will be appended. Now here if I left shift this above bit pattern by 2 bits, so first MSB bit is dropped, second MSB bit is dropped, all remaining bits from the rights will be shifted 2-bit position, and to the right of this 5 binary 5 0 0 is appended. Now what is the result of this? Obviously this bit patterns matches to the decimal equivalent 20. So I get answer 20. What if I say B right shift A? That means right shift bit pattern B by 2-bit position. If I have 5 as a binary 0 0 0 0 0 1 0 1, and if I right shift 2-bit position, so rightmost 2 bits will be dropped and all the remaining bits will be shifted to the right, and the leftmost 2 bits will be appended by 0. So you have to keep this in mind. So what is ultimate output of this? It is nothing but a 1. Now this also works with the negative numbers. Your B can be -5, A can be 2, and if you try this you get answer -2. And if I say B right shift 3, you get answer -1. So you try this. I suggest you try this. But what if one of the operands is a real number? Suppose I say B right shift 2.2. So Python gives me error. Why? Because shifting of any bit in some decimal 2.2 bits is not possible. So that's why these operators strictly work on the integral numbers, not the real numbers. So here you get an error, int float, these are not compatible. Again if you say 2.5 left shift 8, so again here float int is incompatible. So this way you have to be bit careful while dealing with the bitwise operators. So here ends the session, today's session. Now dear friends, we'll be taking some complex and engineering level examples at later point of discussion. First of all, I want to finish up with the syllabus which is needed basically for solving complex problem. Once we are done with the fair level of Python syllabus, we'll start solving more complex hands-on. So dear learners, how was the session? Please let me know through your comments. If you like this lecture, please press on like button. Share your views through comments. And if you are not yet subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to GCS Solutions. We are the people making technology easy to learn. Till next lecture, happy coding.